we could probably go into this is like a whole nother topic, but like about how much it does kind of constrain the so either social development of a lot of people, even like around the dinner table, a lot of times
Right.
it might not be as intimate with each other, and even finding a boyfriend or girlfriend probably not sometimes people are just looking for something else, and different cultures arise, and like social cultures, and people are not as into learning about each other closely, and maybe start using each other anyways. But that's kind of like a another negative, I guess, of the uprise in technology and social media. But
Right, and that maybe you even start treating people differently in real life based on who they are in
Mhm.
on social media.
Yeah.
Bro,
I,
it's a projection of it's a highlight reel of people of people's lives. That's pretty much what
Yeah, 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 yeah.
and I think that's how like biases are made. Like if you see people behaving or doing something in a certain way online, like when you see that person's race or ethnicity or religion in person, you have this preconceived bias. It may be subliminal, like you might not even think about it, but just because you've seen that already, it's an associative memory that you've aligned with whatever you're experiencing with, and that augments this interaction that you're having. So, I mean, like a perfect example could be like Islamophobia. Like, there's plenty of propaganda out there saying that like all Muslims are terrorists or violent. And when you interact with a Muslim wearing a hijab, or I forget the name that the guys wear, but if you just see someone like that, you might have this preconceived notion that, oh, this guy is definitely like has a gun, or like something along those lines. And I think our society is doing a really good job of just pushing these notions, or the relationship thing as well.
Mhm.
Right, like with it, it has its like pros and cons, and that's why we look out at the individual, like you know social media has perhaps been a great way for people to connect with people that see the world in a similar way. Like on a personal level, that's great for everybody. But on a societal level, it's connecting people that are trying to, make the world a better place, but it's also perpetuating like hate and that propaganda that you're talking about, right?
Mhm.
Like, even like let's not forget like this social media like was skewing our elections like the democratic like process in like this country, like it's shocking the amount of power and influence that something acquired so quickly. But it's not like some abstract thing, it's just a platform, but it's everyone that's contributing to it that is giving it all that power.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a crazy world we live in now. It really is.
And you know what the craziest part too is that we're young to the point that having, and I think it's so cool that you guys are doing a podcast because talking about these things now is important because we are going to be the ones that are riding out these changes. And, you know, perhaps depending on where or how we end up, we may be making some decisions that impact humanity for a long, long time, you know? Like, we especially now as we kind of I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but I feel like, you know, in a way something's like coming, like we've been like we're building up to something and all this innovation, the world getting connected and now with like the world seeming to be like, being spread thin with this whole pandemic, you realize that it takes certain people stepping up and pushing to make the changes you want to see to, you know, that it could have a huge like rippling effect. That's why I think it's so important to, I think it's dope that you guys are doing this. I don't, just because
appreciate
you're gonna reflect on this. You're gonna reflect on this.
Yeah,
Like, you know, I always say like when you're creating stuff, the main person you should be making stuff for is for you.
Exactly.
You know, like no one, I assure you, no one's gonna listen to your podcast more closely than you will in 20 years.
That's so facts. That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
It's true. And dude, save this shit on a drive, email it to yourself, or like put it on a hard drive or something. But
Yeah.
you know, the real value is like what you're gonna make of this. Like when you maybe are at a point in your life that you maybe lose some direction or are at a crossroads or hitting a milestone or something. Looking back to hear what you guys have to say or how you saw the world in 2020, that's gonna be the most incredible gift you can give yourself.
That's so
Yeah.
true.
I haven't thought about it like that, but yeah, that's awesome.